India's new data protection law has landed, and if you're a chartered accountant, this is a really big deal. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. On one side, there's a major new risk, but on the other, a massive new reward. So let's break down exactly what this means for you.
Let's start with a number, a huge number, 250 crores. Just let that sink in for a second. What do you think that represents?
Well, that's the maximum penalty for a single data breach under the new Digital Personal Data Protection Act, the DPDPA. And this isn't just some theoretical number pulled out of thin air. It's the brand new cost of doing business in today's digital world.
And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, that's just for the big tech companies, I need you to think again. The law is crystal clear. There are absolutely no special exemptions for CA firms. This applies directly to you.
So let's dive into why this is such a critical issue for the accounting profession. That brings us to our first section, a new risk for CAs. This is really where we see the unique spot you're in as a CA. You don't just process your own clients' personal data. So often, you're processing the data of their clients. I mean, if you're working with a bank or a hospital, that data is incredibly sensitive. And here's the kicker. If your client is what's called a significant data fiduciary, their high-risk profile actually extends to you as their processor. So the risk, it's layered, it's complex.
Okay, so how does all this risk actually translate to what you do every day? Knowing there's a threat is one thing. Being prepared for it is something else entirely. So welcome to Section 2, your DPDPA compliance checklist.
The scope of the DPDPA is just incredibly broad. It is not just one simple rule. We're talking about everything, from the legal reason you have for processing data, to consent management, to handling data breaches, to enabling the rights of individuals. It's a whole new framework for everything. So let's get practical. I want you to ask yourself this first. Do you have clear, valid, and provable consent for every single piece of personal data you process? Or maybe another legal basis like legitimate use? This right here is the absolute bedrock of compliance. Next up, what about your vendors and your tech? If you use third-party data processors or even some of those fancy AI tools to help with your work, you could actually be held liable for their compliance failures. Are you really prepared for that?
The DPDPA gives individuals brand new, guaranteed rights. They can ask for access to their data, they can request corrections, and they can even demand you erase it. Do you have a system in place right now to handle these requests efficiently and legally? And finally, the crisis moment. If a data breach happens, are you prepared to recognize it, to assess it, and then to notify the authorities and the people affected, just like the law requires? Having a plan isn't optional anymore. It's a legal necessity.
Okay, I get it. That is a lot of new responsibility, and it can feel pretty overwhelming. Compliance is a serious challenge, for sure. But here's where we flip the script. Because with every major regulatory shift like this comes a major new business opportunity.
The shift is creating an entirely new professional role, which brings us right to Section 3, the Independent Data Auditor.
So what in the world is an independent data auditor, or IDA? Well, it's a new role that's actually mandated by the DPDPA itself. These are the professionals who are going to be hired to evaluate and audit the compliance of those high-risk, significant data fiduciaries. This isn't just a good idea. It's a legal requirement for many of India's biggest companies.
And what does an IDA actually do? They conduct annual compliance evaluations, they perform these things called data protection impact assessments, and they even audit the use of algorithms and consent management platforms to make sure they don't pose a risk to individual rights. It's a high-level, absolutely critical function.
This, of course, raises the crucial question, how does a chartered accountant make this transition? So let's explore that in Section 4, from accountant to auditor.
The good news is you already have the core skills. Your experience in asset valuation, that's the perfect foundation for learning something like data valuation. And your deep expertise in financial auditing directly translates to conducting a DPDPA compliance audit. You're not starting from scratch here. You're just leveraging the strengths you already have.
The pathway really involves 3 key steps. First, you have to gain a deep understanding of the DPDPA itself. Second, you learn the specific process of a data audit, how to collect evidence, map it to the legal requirements, and then prepare a formal report. And third, you use established frameworks to make sure your work is consistent and professional.
And guess what? Those frameworks already exist. For example, the Foundation of Data Protection Professionals in India, or FDPI, has developed the Digital Governance and Protection Standard of India, the DGPSI.
It's a structured framework made specifically for these audits. There is a roadmap you can follow. So let's bring this all home with our final section, which lays out the concrete next steps. Section 5, your path to a new role. To support this emerging field, a brand new professional body is being formed, the Association of Independent Data Auditors of India, or AIDAI. This is set to become the new home for professionals in this space.
Now, AIDAI offers multiple pathways to get involved. There's a path for aspiring IDIS who are new to the field. There's one for certified IDIS who complete the specific DPDPA certification. And most importantly for many of you, there's the Transforming IDA category, which is designed specifically for CAs and other professionals who already have that audit training and experience. It is a direct bridge into this new profession.
The tagline for AIDI really just says it all: Guardians of Data Accountability. This isn't just a technical role, it's a position of trust and huge responsibility in the new data economy.
Which leaves us with one final question. The DPDA is here, and it is changing everything. So in this new era of data, will you simply manage the risk it presents to your firm, or will you seize the opportunity to become one of the essential guardians of this new landscape? The choice is yours.